questions in. So we're going to start with the first question.
Oh, Lord.
This comes from Beth out of Saginaw. She says, "Hello, Pastor Ron Todd and the crew. I love your show. I watch I listen.
You speaking.
Hold on. Okay, here we go. Yes, I listen. Don't you hate when you reading and then you create your own words?
You prophesying, no. You prophesying.
It's right in front of your face, look. But you make up your own words, what you wanted to say. Okay, anyways. She said, I listen to you guys faithfully every week, but I have a very important question. She says, I listen to you guys every week. Okay, sorry. She said, I have a very important question. I want to know, is it wrong for me to confront my husband because he does not allow me to use his phone? Okay. All right.
Is that all it was?
That's all it was.
Really?
Now let me say this though, because this is my thing with the whole phone situation. Now you saying use your phone is one thing, but I don't have anything to hide in my phone. But at the same time, don't be scrolling through my phone. I have an issue with that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because of my office as pastor, and then because of just different relationship I have with friends, there's some very personal information that gets that goes through my phone at times. I try to clear it all out. And so, I mean, I have friends right now that are going through some very private situations. Sometimes it can be situations with their spouse. It could be situations in their body, that are just personal. Just like ladies, you guys have sometimes maybe some personal situations that go on with your body that if you talk to your girlfriend about, that's one thing. And to be honest with you, I don't need to know about any female issues that's going on. So if you guys are having that conversation, I don't need to read about that. I don't need to hear about that because you should be able to have that personal time with your friend. So I think it comes down to a trust thing. You've got to be able to trust your spouse. If you don't trust them, you need to get out of the relationship because you should not have to read through all of their text messages. You should not have to read through all of their emails. Now, if you have a specific issue or you're feeling a specific way, at that point, they should be able to present it to you, and there should be no problem. However, this is just me personally. I don't feel like you need to always constantly have access to their cellular device because you should not be. There should be no reason for you to pick up their phone other than to answer it if it rings and they're not around. Other than that, you should not be picking up their phone, skimming through their messages because what is your point? That's my personal opinion. Anybody have a comment? I think that people in relationships have to understand personal boundaries, and there are still boundaries even for married people. And it's not because you have anything to hide, but it's just that again, if a situation comes up where you feel like, hey, I'm feeling uncomfortable about something, I need to see your phone. That's one thing. That's one isolated situation, and you guys need to squash it. And if you find that you're wrong, you need to sit your silly self down somewhere and never ask for it again, because now you've made a fool of yourself. But there are definitely situations where, like I said, I know even with my phone, I have some really close friends that go through situations and they entrust me to talk to them and deal with their situation. And everything is not for my wife to hear, just because it's really not her business. I mean, if it's not a situation where she's counseling with me or helping me, she doesn't need to know my friend's personal issues that's going on, Because believe it or not, us men, we have issues that go on. We have prostate issues and we have hair loss issues. We have all kinds of things that happen that make us feel uncomfortable. And so that's not something that my spouse necessarily need to know, that somebody else is going through hair loss or somebody else, they lost their job and their wife don't want to know. Hair loss. Not okay.
Hair loss. Let's leave it at that. There's a line. And there's Ron.
No, but I'm not talking about there because in other spots the hair color just changes. They don't lose.
Ronald.
But I'm saying hair loss. But does that make sense? Did I answer that okay?
For Beth, she said that her husband don't want her to use the phone at all.
That's a problem.
That's a problem.
Yeah, so you have to really know what her definition of
using is. Exactly.
Right.
A lot of
you can get a cricket phone, $20 a month,
Right.
But the whole thing is, are you using the phone for productive purposes, or are you just want possession of the phone to do whatever it is that you want to do.
Right.
So I mean, you say there's that fine line, that thin line, you know, with it. Just have to understand, you know, or know. See, talking about phones.
Look at that.
Amen. And we are back. Was that a little technical difficulty? Go ahead, there, Zane.
I mean, and that's really what it is, you know. There's really no what definition, you know. If you say, okay, here's my phone, let me make a phone call. No, you can't use my phone.
That's a problem.
That's the problem, you know,
Right,
because
why?
because it seems right. Why? You know, that leads to other things. But if it's, you know, if he knows that her motives for, you know, for getting the phone, I mean, even if he has nothing to hide, you know, oftentimes when you look for things or when you're searching for things, you find things that you really, you know, whether you're looking for it or not, you end up finding something. So, you know, you really have to understand, you know, really, and that comes with their community, as Pastor Rob was saying, that comes with their line of communication. You know, if they're communicating and having an understanding of what's what, I mean, it shouldn't be an issue. But, you know, if there's this, you know, no, you can't use my phone, go use payphone. That's come on.
And I'll tell you something. If you really ever want to find out about somebody, get that phone. Everything you need to know is in that phone. However, like Pastor Sam was saying, I think Nikki and myself, the thing is, it shouldn't be something that you do.
Yes.
As a spouse, you should not be going through your spouse's phone, because don't invade their personal space. However, now I have heard someone tell their spouse this: "Oh, my phone's off limits. Don't touch my phone." No, we don't do the phone. The phone's off limits. Do not touch my phone. Somebody's doing something.
Yeah.
Because if you that.
It's a touchy subject for myself.
Yes.
You annoy my life. However, anytime I went through the phone, I found something.
Every time.
However, there was a reason why I was looking, because there was a lot of miscommunication, things that were not adding up. 2 + 2 wasn't equaling 4. I wasn't allowed to see the phone and things like that. So I guess it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
And it depends on what you're looking for. You know, the Bible says it clearly. Seeking ye shall find, knock and the door shall be open. That, I think that's as plain as you're going to get it. I mean, it doesn't get any clearer than that. If you're looking for something, you will find it. So I guess my question to Beth would be, what are you looking for?
Right.
What is your purpose of getting the phone? Did your phone die and you need to use your husband's phone? That's one thing, and he's not allowing you to use it. Or are you being sneaky, thinking that he's being sneaky?
Right.
In which case you want to make sure that your tracks are covered.
Come on.
You know, you want to make sure that you're in good reason for doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of unanswered questions with these questions sometimes. So
you agree, Kiwi?
I totally agree.
Yeah.
We don't know what situation she was in. If it was just, it might have been one of those things that she was just shocked that he actually didn't want her to use. It could be something she wasn't sneaky, but now it's like, hold on, time out. Why you're not?
why?
Right.
So like she said, it's so many unanswered questions. But to me, if right off the rip, if he's not gonna let you use the phone, there is a red flag.
There's a red flag.
There's a red flag. Absolutely.
There's a stop sign in front of you too.
Yes.
Right, especially when it's so prevalent. But like I said, in my home, you know, my wife can answer my phone, you know, and that kind of thing. But no, she does not go through my phone.
She doesn't have a reason to.
She doesn't have a reason to.
Exactly. As long as it goes back to if there's no reason, you don't give her a reason to do that, then you know, the phone didn't ring and you didn't say, hold on, what you doing with my phone? Right. The phone rang, she looked, she grabbed it, she answered, and said, one moment, let me go get my husband. It wasn't like, you know, something just it was a normal situation.
Right. Because I tell you, now, if I were to catch my wife going through my phone, it would be a problem.
Yeah.
Because you don't give her a reason.
Exactly. That's just my... Beth, I hope we've helped you, the crew and Coach Kiwi, but I do want to say to those, you can always email the Ron Todd Show at gmail.com. You can send in your questions. You can. They've been coming in to me personally, but I say that to say, just make sure your questions are very thorough. because that will help us in answering you effectively if we kind of know more of the background of the story. But let's get to one more here. This one